Hi guys, so I'm always surprised with how Brexiteers are able to take something negative about Brexit and spin it into a positive. Brexit is truly a religion at this stage because, how is it possible somebody can take something negative and spin it into a positive? Not because they're positive thinking people, because they try to find the good, in everything. No, it's a religion. It's a cult. You have to find something positive. Nothing is negative. Brexit is never negative. It's only positive. Now, before we get to the Express article here, it's important to remember that the Express is a pro-Tory, pro-Brexit newspaper. And I just want to show you some of these headlines. This is a snippet of some headlines from the Express about the European Union and how it's on the brink. This is just a snapshot from June last year to November last year. And you can see some of the headlines. EU on brink, Hungary and Poland. EU on brink as recovery fund. EU on brink as Donald Trump's trade assault. EU on brink, Galloway mocks little Napoleon. EU on brink, Dutch leader arrogance. EU on brink, Italexit could be final straw. EU on brink, Brussels face new splint. Okay, so you get the gist of how the European Union is on the brink of collapse. And Brexiteers, of course, are turned on by that sort of language. And this is just a snippet from last year. But if you go back further, you can go back 10, 15 years and you'll find the same type of rhetoric. The European Union is about to collapse. The very first time I heard these types of stories was back in the 1990s, where they said the European community at the time was close to collapse. It's about to collapse at any moment. Any year now, the European project will come to an end. That was over 20 years ago. But it sells newspapers, and the pro-Brexit wing of society want to be continually convinced that what they voted for was right. And the church of Brexit at the Express will continue to convince them of that. What I'm talking about here in this article is Brexit. It says here, Brexit sees 10,000 UK expat pensioners leave the EU, already have bags packed, quote. British expatriate pensioners are fleeing the EU in their thousands and returning home. Now, on the surface, it's like, okay, how is that positive? Fleeing the EU because the EU is terrible? Or is it because, well, if the EU is terrible, why did these people go there in the first place? These people, pensioners, living generally in the south of Europe, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece, they're now returning home. Why are they doing that? Unfortunately, the article doesn't give a lot of information, but it does say that, yes, because of new rules, because of post-Brexit rules, these people are fleeing the EU. The problem is that many people who don't have their paperwork correct because of Brexit, before it was not necessary, but now it's necessary to have special documentation completed. If you don't, then you'll have to leave the country and return every 90 days. So it's basically like someone voting to be kicked out of their house every 90 days. The locks are changed so they can't get back in again. And then they have to find they have to pay a locksmith or whatever to create a key for them so they can get back in again. This is basically what Brexiteers have been doing. Now, the unfortunate thing is that many people who are living abroad voted for Brexit. Not a huge number of them, but generally in the older age group, these people voted for this. Now, some of them, I've spoken to some older people who are living in Spain and in Italy, and they've said that, look, I didn't vote for this. I didn't want this. But they know people who voted for Brexit, wanted this, because they were convinced by anti-immigrant rhetoric. The article also shows this image, which is the economic loss per EU member state in case of a hard Brexit. Share of value added loss. Share of value added loss relative to the value added of the EU member state. And you can see here each of the countries, the amount of they have lost because of a hard Brexit. Loss in millions. So the UK 94 billion euros, while in Spain it's 8 billion euros. Italy 18 billion, Malta 358 million. So basically the Express is saying, yes, this is bad. Brexit is bad, but isn't it better than remaining in the European Union? So we've turned the idea that British people who left the UK to relax, to have a good life in Spain, in Italy, in Greece, are now being forced to return, even though they've sold their homes, they've upped sticks, they've said goodbye to their relatives or whatever. They're now being forced to return, and this is something positive. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?